Good morning, everyone. My name is Olivier VERGEYNST. I'm the director of the Belgian Institute for Sustainable IT. Today, I'll give you a brief introduction about the environmental impact of the digital world and how you can help reduce it. I'll also explain why it is important for companies to help to adopt best practices of sustainable IT. It's becoming essential to their competitivity and also for their long-term survival. To help me, I'll have two guest speakers. You will discover them in a few minutes. So the digital world, the digital world is growing fast. There are about 40 billion devices like TVs, laptops, smartphones, smartwatches, security cameras, connected doorbells. This could grow to more than 50 billion devices by 2025. Why is this a problem? It is a problem in terms of greenhouse gas emissions and climate change, in terms of depletion of natural resources, in terms of water and soil pollution, in terms of electricity consumption, and the list goes on. Let's first focus on greenhouse gas emissions. The IT sector emits more than 4% of the greenhouse gas emissions man-made, and it could grow to around 8% by 2025 and continue to grow by roughly 9% every year. This is faster than most economic sectors. And actually, the problem comes mainly from the end user equipment for all the environmental indicators. So energy, greenhouse gas emissions, water, electricity, and abiotic resources, so natural resources. You see that user equipment is clearly the biggest culprit, in fact. And when you talk about user equipment, the impact comes mainly from the manufacturing phase, much more than the usage. Even if for greenhouse gas emissions, you see that there is also, of course, an impact in terms of usage phase. So how can you reduce this impact? It is mainly by extending the life of your equipment. To extend the life of your equipment, you start by thinking about buying repairable equipment. So you can adapt your purchasing policy, especially for companies. Once your equipment has reached its end of life within your organization or at home, you can give it a second life. So sell it or give it away to charities who will turn this equipment into a brand new equipment, actually, for some other people. It also helps create local jobs in Europe or in your own country where you resell this equipment. And when you buy equipment, you can buy refurbished equipment. Even for companies now, there are offers about professionally refurbished equipment with 2 to 3 years warranty, and where you can buy computers in very large numbers, like 100, 200 computers of the same type, so that you can manage them as if it was brand new equipment. And the thing is that all that is mainly a question of habit. If you look at second-hand cars, for example, everyone is now used to buying second-hand cars, or for yourself or for your kids. And it's not the case for digital equipment. People tend to buy first brand new digital equipment rather than thinking about refurbished equipment. So it's really important to extend the life of equipment because it's major amounts of devices that we are talking about. Worldwide, we are manufacturing 450,000 laptops every day, 450,000. And just in Europe, we dispose of 160,000 laptops every day. It's estimated by Circular Computing that 70% of those laptops could be reused. So there is really a big potential in terms of reduction of our waste. The second aspect, and you will see this more in the other presentations, is about eco-designing digital services. The first thing is about having efficient code, of course. The second aspect will be about reducing the quantity of data that you are transmitting, reducing also the bandwidth usage. Third thing will be about dividing your infrastructure needs. You can see here different examples. For example, LinkedIn, by reviewing completely the architecture, they've been able to divide by 112 their total needs versus the volumes that they had to process. So very clearly, a very interesting economic benefits if you can reduce by so much your infrastructure needs. And also you help extend the lifetime of the equipment of your users. If you do not force them to take the latest technology, the latest version of a smartphone, the latest operating system, etc., you help them keep their devices longer. Also, it helps you actually doing eco-design helps you to gain more clients. For example, thanks to a more inclusive design for people with disabilities, or simply thanks to a better, more simple design, a faster application focusing on the real needs of your client. And it's demonstrated that all these benefits help you increase your share of business. But one of the traps when you try to reduce the footprint of digital services is the rebound effect. David Boll, professor at the University of Louvain, tells us more about it.
Depuis quelques années, la recherche qu'on effectue dans notre groupe à l'UC Louvain est orientée de plus en plus vers des applications qui apportent une plus-value sociale, une plus-value écologique, indépendamment de la technologie qu'on déploie. Donc l'idée est de ne pas orienter la recherche directement vers le cœur de la technologie, mais vers une application, un usage, qui fait découler l'innovation au niveau des technologies. Donc un point important dans l'usage des technologies numériques est lié à l'effet rebond. L'effet rebond nous dit que si on rend une technologie plus efficace, donc moins consommatrice d'énergie, moins consommatrice de ressources, on va avoir tendance à en utiliser plus de par le fait qu'elle est plus abordable, et finalement avoir un impact absolu qui est plus important en termes de consommation de ressources et d'énergie. Donc un exemple typique d'effet rebond est lié à la capacité de transfert de données via le réseau Internet filaire et sans fil également, qui fait que si on rend possible un trafic plus important, les usages vont augmenter et les gens vont avoir tendance à consommer plus de données. Et ceci s'illustre tout à fait par l'accroissement de la résolution des vidéos qu'on regarde en ligne, qui était au départ en basse définition, aujourd'hui c'est en haute définition et on monte vers le 4K. Donc on a tendance à utiliser plus de données parce que c'est rendu possible par l'accroissement de l'efficacité des communications. Alors dans une approche écologique du développement des technologies, il est important de cibler les points critiques qui engendrent le plus d'impact. Et pour ce faire, on analyse des méthodologies qui sont basées sur l'analyse du cycle de vie des équipements et des usages. L'idée qui se cache derrière est d'identifier quels sont les points de cette vie de nos équipements, entre la production, l'utilisation et la fin de vie derrière, quels sont les points qui génèrent le plus d'impacts environnementaux, de s'attaquer directement au problème le plus fondamental, en n'essayant pas d'optimiser un impact qui est négligeable. Un exemple serait l'utilisation des smartphones. Alors on pourrait avoir tendance à se dire qu'il est important pour les concepteurs de téléphones de réduire la consommation de nos téléphones, consommation électrique, dans une optique environnementale. Néanmoins, dans le domaine des téléphones portables, c'est la production du dispositif, la production du téléphone que nous tenons dans notre main, qui a l'impact environnemental le plus important. Et donc, l'effort de conception doit être mis sur réduire l'empreinte énergétique et écologique de cette fabrication, plutôt que, dans un deuxième temps, la réduction de la consommation énergétique lors de l'usage de ce téléphone.
Thank you, David. Now, one important aspect of sustainability is that its goal is not only to reduce its own environmental footprint, what is usually known as green IT. It also includes IT for green, which is about using IT to reduce the footprint in other domains, like heating, for example. And it also includes all social aspects like digital inclusion, bridging the digital divide, working conditions in mine factories for our devices. This requires to find the right balance between people, planet, and profit. Let's listen to Ilias Iacovidis from the European Commission.
So good evening to everybody. My name is Ilias Iacovidis from the European Commission, from the Department of IT called DG Connect. And today I'll just give you 2 or 3 ideas about what we do as Commission, what we do as DG Connect, and what is the role of ICT in our transition to sustainability. First of all, let me remind you that Europe took maybe the most ambitious commitment in the world to become climate neutral continent by 2050. This European Green Deal, as it's known, commits us as Europe, its member states, and that means administrations, public sector, private sectors, companies, to get the work, to change the work to be more sustainable. Now, this means that we will need to a little change the way we work, and new business opportunities will have to be created on sustainable and circular business models. So we will try to find ways where we will use less natural resources, more of focusing on the user needs rather than products and materials that we use. Because ultimately, the biggest challenge we have is the limited natural resources that we need to put in better play. Now, how do we do it? There's only one way, by proper digitalization. So digital is the way to create shared economy, product as a service services, to green our organizations and to green our products and services. We have committed to green the ICT. Greening of ICT happens on two dimensions: the energy consumption side, data center consumption, 5G and telecom consumptions, and the consumption of ICT as electricity. And on that, I would not personally worry as much as the other dimension, which is the material consumption and all that comes with it: pollution, critical rare earth materials that we dependent on, and the lack of circularity of devices. A mobile phone, the impact of a mobile phone, 85% of the emission is to produce it, 15% is to use it. Mobile phone has 10% of the gold, of the world's gold, and rare earth materials. If we don't recycle, if we don't keep it in the value, if we change it every 21 months as we do on average, it's a huge loss to our economy. It's a huge loss to our digital and material sovereignty as Europe. We need to get better to use it longer and to get that secondary material in our tablets, laptops, iPads, servers back in the economy. For that, you as organization need to start thinking, what is there for the green public procurement for me to get my ICT operations better? If I'm a bank, how do I organize my ICT? If I'm a regional center or a smart city, how do I organize my ICT so I do it with the least possible footprint? There are green ways to organize your ICT, and your institute will be there watching it globally to translate it for you, I hope. And that's a role that I envisage for the institute, is that they will help you to go through that long European directives. What is there for you to choose better, that is better for your business, better for the environment, better for your employees? But there are huge private and public funds. We have just launched 750 billion recovery fund, where we say 37% of that recovery fund has to be going to green solutions and 20% to digital infrastructure. So imagine 57% of the 750 billion are either to digitize yourself or to use the digital or other means to green yourself. I see the role of Institute to help you to find a way how to get your business greener and how to also find financing to get this going for that transition to happen. Green Deal is about green economy. It's not only about environmental protection, it's about our economy more than anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ilias. So adopting a sustainable IT approach for company, of course, is good for the economy, for the competitivity. It also brings a possibility of adopting a new CSR strategy, or at least aligning your IT to your CSR, so corporate social responsibility strategy. Indeed, most companies now are aligning their CSR strategy to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, the famous SDGs. And sustainable IT helps you to act through your IT services on 9 of these sustainable development goals. They are all listed here. I'll let you have a look at that. So for companies who want to adopt a sustainable IT strategy, it's very difficult because there is a lot of incorrect information on internet, for example. There are many actors providing different information, and it's difficult to find what is really relevant, especially because for each company having a different context, it means different types of actions. So to be able to get correct information, the French Institute for Sustainable IT, so Institut du Numérique Responsable, was created like 2 years ago approximately, and now just a few weeks ago we have created the Belgian Institute for Sustainable IT. So we are creating a European network of experts. There's also a Swiss Institut du Numérique Responsable, which is just born a couple of days ago. So through this European network of experts, you can gain access to training, certification, different tools as well. We have working groups on several topics like eco-design of digital services, but also sustainable purchasing of IT equipment. There is a charter that you can sign if you want to engage into a sustainable IT strategy. And then potentially you can also apply for the label, the sustainable IT label, to demonstrate your commitment towards your commitment and your actions actually in terms of sustainable IT. And we help you make your sustainable IT strategy visible. And last but not least, we also help you avoid falling into traps from greenwashing, because in IT, there is actually a lot of greenwashing. So to summarize, we can see that sustainability is strategic to organizations and companies. It helps you reduce your costs and risks. It helps you improve your user experience. Also, actually, it helps you recruit or retain your IT resources, because you give them an additional purpose, and more people are looking for purpose through their job. There is also all the legislation aspects, and as summarized also by Ilias a few minutes ago. I mentioned the tangible CSR strategy and all the actions in terms of sustainable development goals. And last but not least, you are joining an active network through the Belgian Institute for Sustainable IT or its French or Swiss equivalents. That's it for me today. Don't hesitate to follow us on LinkedIn. You can email me or give me a call if there's anything that I can do for you. Thank you.